The latest episode of The White Lotus made me more anxious than I thought it would, even though nothing actually happened. The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 4 established that Tim Ratliff had stolen Gaytok's gun from the security office. Greg was looking into Belinda after she recognized him, and various groups were gearing up to party. With Episode 4 marking the halfway point of the season, The White Lotus had set up various characters to die, but thanks to the reckless behavior of many characters, it is still unclear who the victim will be. Now, Episode 5, Full Moon Party, has just added more complexities to the characters' stories that could see several of them headed down a very dark path. Jacqueline, Laurie, and Kate continued their partying with Valentin and his friends, while Chelsea, Chloe and the Ratliff boys did some drug-induced partying of their own. For the entirety of the episode, the relationships between the characters got incredibly tense, for better or worse, but Season 3, Episode 5's ending pulled back just in time for none of the extreme consequences to show up yet. The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 5 was incredibly tense viewing. There was a lot of build-up that something bad was about to happen. The White Lotus has always been great at creating tension between characters and building up to big moments, and Season 3, Episode 5 is a perfect example of this. There were a couple of true reveals between the characters during the episode. Notably, Belinda tells Fabian about Greg Agari and later shares a moment with Porn Chai, and Piper tells her parents that she plans to stay in Thailand. However, most of the episode actually raises tension through the fact that the characters are hiding things rather than telling them. In particular, the two groups who go out partying always seem like they are on the verge of disaster. Jacqueline, Laurie, and Kate seem to be having a good time with Valentin and his friends, but Kate quickly becomes overwhelmed and clearly wants the men to leave their villa. The pacing of their scenes and the difference between Kate's attitude and her friends make it feel like something bad is about to happen to the friends, but it simply never does. The night ends peacefully, and the group goes to bed, though Jacqueline's decision to sleep with Valentin sets up a bigger confrontation in the future. Likewise, Chelsea and Chloe's adventures with Lachlan and Saxon grow increasingly chaotic as the group becomes drunker and higher throughout the night. While Lachlan and Saxon's kiss is undeniably disturbing and the pair will certainly be dealing with the ramifications in the future, nothing bad happened to the four of them as a group. Even Timothy, who was planning to commit suicide, stopped when his wife entered the room and later began to pray, indicating that he had changed his mind. It's good The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 5 did this. The White Lotus's pacing is great for creating suspense. Though it can be frustrating in the moment to not have any of the tension pay off at the end of the episode, it is actually so much better that The White Lotus is not showing all its cards too soon. Episode 5 did such a good job at creating a sense of unease that something terrible was just waiting to happen. However, the second that The White Lotus reveals too much or shows one character go too far to come back, it could become too obvious who is going to die. Right now, it still feels like tensions could boil over at any minute or things could change and highlight someone else as marked for death, since many of the characters are in perilous circumstances. This uncertainty is great for keeping audiences on our toes, and it makes for a more exciting watch. Since Episode 5 provided a lot of great setups for bad things to happen following a night of partying, The White Lotus Season 3, Episode 6 will certainly be another great one with characters likely facing consequences.